Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on, man? We back for another episode of Relentless Purpose Podcast. As you can see, got a different co-host with me today, man. I have my guy Coach Miller, man. This is you done heard his name quite a few times. I already mentioned on the last couple podcasts, man. I got my guy Coach Lawrence Lewis with us in studio today, man. Man, so just talk to the people a little bit, man. Who is Lawrence Lewis?
You know, just a person that enjoys sports, man. Enjoy kids, enjoy, the whole chase of um getting one kid from one place to the next, making sure they're safe and sound
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and for the most part, man, just enjoy this and enjoy, the camaraderie, the talking, the people and life.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
For
life
sure.
life give you things and you just gotta enjoy it,
For sure. For sure,
So
man.
you ask me who I am, I'm just a person who enjoy life, man.
For sure, man. I mean, me and you know, we lived across the street from each other for the past couple of years now, man. We've had a lot of conversations, man. So I know the answer to what I'm about to ask you. You know what I'm saying? But what does Lawrence feels like his purpose is in life, and what motivates him to push towards that purpose every day?
you know, man, that's like a loaded question.
It is.
You
We
know,
got time.
but be honest with you, man, I remember, dude, like dating back to probably I was in high school. First time, you have to go do something, so you
Mm-hmm.
just go do it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know what's gonna come out of it. But we had to do Special Olympics one year, man. And I remember at that point I was a junior in high school, and I saw those kids giving the effort with less,
Yeah.
and they just said,
Yeah.
"So what's your issue?"
Yeah, right,
Right?
right. And it's crazy because they don't even realize they have less. You know what I'm saying? They just happy to be out there, amongst friends and people that care and love about them and getting to do something they
They
always
always
wanted to do.
exactly. So that at that point, man, I remember telling myself that I was always gonna reach a little bit higher.
Mm,
It was gonna be something I didn't know what at the time, but I always knew it was something. But I I vividly remember this like it was yesterday, bro. Finding out my son was born deaf.
mm, mm.
And
So
and at that point I was just like, all right, I see where we're going. You know, what I said I wanted to do, and I was always gonna do a little bit harder.
he gave it to you.
He,
God gave it to
he
you.
gave it to me, and he was like, "Hey, this is what you asked for, right?"
That's deep there. That's
And
deep there.
and I knew, I knew from that point on, man, that it was gonna be something, and my purpose was, what is it that you want to get out of this?
Hmm.
And so as you start chasing it, and then it's always that time where you say he's giving you a little bit something.
Hmm. And they say be careful what you ask for
And
now. That my grandma used to tell me that all the time. Boy, be careful what you ask for now.
so
But in a situation like that though, bro, I wouldn't even say be careful what you ask for. I believe that's just been your heart from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like that's truly your
agreed.
purpose. Like I believe that's always been in your heart, especially with you saying how that touched you and you opened your eyes up when you were involved with the Special Olympics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that's that's a level that most people don't understand.
and you know you question it,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, for
With
sure,
no doubt,
for sure.
but then you go back and it's just like people would ask all the time, and you always find a way to relate it to something, right? And I thought one day it came to me that, like, during the game, we out there coaching or whatever, and you make those small time adjustments, for the moment, right? But the only time you can really go back and analyze what you done is you got to go back and watch the tape,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can prepare next week, but with a different game plan. And some of those small time adjustments, in game adjustments, they say, right? They're only there for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that a lot of things that was going on in life, it was just they were there for a reason. And you go back and watch the tape, and you think about all the things that I thought about during that Special Olympics was actually happening after I went back and thought about all this stuff on what I wanted to do. Said if it wasn't ball, I knew I was going to coach or teach or be involved somehow. And we say just earlier, we say, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, be careful.
Right?
Be careful what you ask for now. So what you say, what you mentioning, small time, you got to make the in-game adjustments and all that. And then what you mentioning, your child was born deaf. I guess my question would be, how did you approach that? Like learning from those adjustments, like for lack of what better words, that's kind of like trial by fire type situation because it's new to
It
you.
is.
But at the same time, like you don't ever want to see your child have to go through that or go through that situation. So you try to make it as easy as possible, but at the same time, it's new to you.
Yeah.
So how you and your wife handle that?
I think we with each other and with the support of our family, it almost made that transition a little bit easier, right? Definitely when you trying to run something down on your own,
yeah,
it was a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
but we had a good support system and
community,
and
man.
and it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah,
so
sure.
they were definitely there to support us and like I said, I mean that transition, you were still trying to figure it out as you go. And like I said earlier, again, be careful, right? So 4 years later, he gave me another one. Baby girl.
Same situation.
They're almost like, so what you gonna do now? And at that point, man, I think my son was probably, he was like 5 or 6, and my little nephew then was playing ball, little Pee Wee League, and he was asking about wanting to play. I'm thinking, man, what is it about this situation? When you gonna tell him
his situation a little different?
Yeah, your situation, you probably won't be able to do this, right? But then I just remember saying, what were they doing out there? Who told them what they weren't gonna be able to do, right?
Yeah.
So the minute you as a parent tell your kid what they won't be able to accomplish, imagine what society will do to them.
Tear them down even more.
That's why I said we'll find a way.
Yeah,
right?
If you can't do it at home, what can you do it, man? That always relentless, man. Relentless. That fits in perfect, man.
Yeah.
I guess now, we'll go into that a little bit, man. But I guess now that's the first time I ever heard that story with the Special Olympics, man. I guess that paints an even more vivid picture for me as to why you go as hard for the kids as you do. You know what I'm saying? Like even when you first connected with us, like you knew us, but you didn't know the kids, but you stepped right in like you've been knowing these kids as long as we've been knowing them. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, just leading into sports, how is it that you're able to treat all the kids the same, afford the same opportunity to everybody, and not even want nothing in return? Because that's new coming from when you were already in your own comfortable element.
Yeah.
And you kind of just stepped into what we had going on.
I think, when I look at it as a whole, I always say each individual, deserves the same amount of attention than, as a person standing next to him. Right?
Yeah.
So for me, because I don't know when whatever that it is for that kid is gonna click in, right? And I don't want to be the one to say you don't have it. So to me, I'm always just chasing to find something about this kid that maybe he don't know just yet, and say, okay, what is it that I could do a little bit better to help you get to where you need, right? And I mean, better than anybody else. You can coach them hard, but you can't coach all of them the same.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's almost like I would much rather look for that challenge. To each one of y'all is a different issue.
For sure.
Different background, different home setting, you don't speak the same, you don't walk the same, like all these different things, and you chase it.
For Sure.
and you just chase it, and it's like I'll find it. Like if you gonna give it to me, I'll find it for you.
Yeah.
You know, hey, just I remember last year, in the tournament, me and Miller was just sitting there talking. It was a particular kid, I won't say his name, but it was like, how can we get him involved? I was like, let him play a little defense, whatever, as soon the lady's gonna break through, like, you think so? I'm like, man, how we gonna say we don't know if we don't
You
try?
don't try it,
You
right?
know
Yeah.
what I mean?
This what we here for. This the time, right?
And he went out there and he played. He was like,
Okay.
all right, what was that at? And I was like, hey, bro, like at some point, somebody was gonna say something to the kid,
Yeah.
and just give him that little, just push him over. I said, dude, I always knew. And he would sit on the sideline when he's not in on the offense, and he would just stare, like, and look at the defense, and he would tell me what's going on. And I'm like, well, if you can tell me what's going on,
I
go
mean, you
stop
can do it. Yeah. Yeah, if you know it, if you got that coach's mind on the sideline, it's easy when you get out there because you see it coming.
And so it was like, little things like that, man. It just make me say, I appreciate each one of these kids, man. And
No doubt.
And like, a person who don't have an attachment, don't have a child out there, I don't change it for the world, it gives you that extra to just continue to say, just go do it,
Yeah.
And that quote is, I'll never forget, jumping back real quick. That was the point where I knew when my son asked me to play, and he finally got the opportunity to play, and ended up breaking records as a running back at his middle school, and had that interview with the news crew, and they would just ask me, and I was like, and you set goals for your kid, and your kid accept those goals, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to tell myself the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you really want to be in these kids' life and really help them, just do it. Like, you sacrifice things and you just do it. And so all that to be said is, each one of these kids give me, a different. They give me something different to push every day.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So
definitely that, boy. Ooh-wee.
So it's like,
hey,
oh,
boy,
man.
these jokers here, boy. I get a different kind of text message every day, dog, or at training or whatever it might be, man. But you gotta love the kids to death, man. But with that being said, with helping the kids and all that, you recently told me about a new endeavor you getting ready to launch, man. New nonprofit you getting ready to. You want to just kind of lay out the little blueprint or whatever, how this gonna go for everyone?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we always thought, and every time we get an opportunity, it's always, who else can we help, right? We realize that we won't be here forever. So we started just sitting down thinking and going back through a couple of things, and it's like, our grandson, she called him Pop Pop, right?
That's my dog, man. That's my guy right there.
So, man, we were just like sitting down one day and just I was literally at my computer, man, just writing down some things and just thinking about stuff. And you got your vision board, you just jotting stuff down. And the word perception, it was something about perception that morning. And I just started thinking about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I wonder all the time, like who's going to tell them that they do have the power to change whatever perception the world have on them.
Yeah.
And so with that, I just started kind of going through the black book, man, thinking about kids that we've talked to and opened up different opportunities, whether that was taking them somewhere, getting them from one spot out of one side of town to another, and just having conversation like we're talking now. And then you get that text message like, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like, Coach, man, I've never, been here. I've never done that.
And the crazy thing is, usually when you get that text, man, it's like when you having a down day.
Yeah,
when it's
for
like,
sure.
When it's like
I needed that.
Right. Like what
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know. Like, man, I don't know, but like I don't know if I can keep doing this. Like my cup
It's
by empty, and then they just find a way to to fill it up, man. I ain't mean to cut you off, but it just made me think of that, man.
Yeah. So no, man. It's we're calling it power of perception, and it's the motto basically, change your mind, we can change your thoughts, right? And so it's really, with everything going on now, really want to dive more into the mental side of it, right? Because mental health, I mean, it's real.
Yeah, buddy.
So and we hear it all the time, but we see it, and we share messages all the time asking, man, what happened?
Oh,
what's going on with this kid? Like, and you think just because of the era that we're in now, these kids are in now with the NIL and getting paid to go to school, we kind of erase everything that they have when they, and it's like what they had before they got a check, they still have it.
Yes, it ain't going nowhere.
And we see it in all across all professional sports. And people say, well, he got all this money. What
yeah, they say a fool that coming to money just turned into a fool with money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's what we, we're focusing on that. We want to be able to go abroad, and I thought, at the time I just wanted to do something that would kind of go beyond sports as well.
Yeah.
Because it may be an athlete on your team that may have a brother than me, a sister, somebody that could, utilize a program, that's something like that. The whole big brothers, big sister, you get these big organizations and they kind of grow and they outgrow, what their motto and exactly what they were. And I think you need something real homegrown
to touch the small base, to touch, be more
personal. Because we forget about, So yeah, we're excited about it, man.
So what's the timetable for that looking like?
We've already got pretty much a lot of stuff in place. Okay. So hopefully by end of this season, beginning of the summer, because the summer with with schools and everything like that will be out, and so we'll probably plan on like trying to launch it, get stuff together, and hopefully by summer we can maybe be in some of these summer programs, or maybe some churches or small little things like that to kind of start growing it, and then ultimately just have people on the team that focus in some of these areas that we're thinking about, and kind of growing that deal, and I'm excited about it, and my wife is actually she more excited about it than me.
That sound like that's her baby. It sound like I understand, man, but anyway, bro, we would love any way we can help, whether it be Relentless Purpose, whether it be Full Court Pressure, whether it just be us as humans and our separate families anyways, man. We would definitely we are definitely love to help out with that. That's something that is nowadays, because it's becoming such a big thing that people are using. It's starting to get to the point now to where people try to act like you faking, or trying to use it as a crutch more than really taking the time out to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people might be fake. I'm not saying that they are, or sometimes it might not be as severe as they think it is. And all it needs to be had is a conversation to get them led down the right direction, or pointed in the right path, or just get them with the right people, right situation, like y'all trying to do, man. That's powerful.
Yeah, man. I'm like I said, man. I don't know. I mean, a million things running through my head right now, just thinking about. I wonder how many. You can't save them all. We know that, right? But you wonder how many at this point right now, like how many was missed. So with that good text message, you also get those that you just have to stare at 2 or 3 times and try to figure out how you respond to it, right? But you have to say something to the kid, and he may be. I mean, you may be the last person that eventually even say something. And those, like I say, those athletes still call 22, 23-year-olds still picking up the phone. They realize that they have issues, but they can have somebody to come to.
Oh yeah, we had one like, Coach, man, hey, I'll be in Dallas this weekend. Like, oh, okay, well, we'll be there. Holler at us. You know what I'm saying? But So it's trust me, man, I get it. I get the good and the bad, man. Of course, it always hurts more with the bad. It's just like, dang, it feel like your child, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's just like, bro, like, man, come on, but like all the work, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way. When we say all the work I put in, it's not meaning like you wasted my time type thing. It's just meaning like it feels like you had some progress,
Mm-hmm.
and they getting over the hill, getting over the hump,
Then it's so
and then
backslide.
you see no signs of you know what I'm saying, retreating, going back the other direction.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get that 2:30 a.m. text message or 3 o'clock in the morning phone call or Twitter DM or whatever, and you just be like,
it's like
bruh.
gotta roll over and get up out of bed
But
and
man,
maybe have to go get you.
I'm excited. I'm excited for y'all, man. I'm excited for you for
Yeah,
real, man.
it's gonna be a good thing, man. Like I said, it's I've seen it a lot. And I guess the sports world has delivered some of those kids to me, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not even gonna say sports, but I think it's just your heart, bro.
Yeah,
People see your heart.
and
People see your heart, and God just leads people. You know, they can sense, they can get the feel, they can hear. You know, some people, I've heard this a lot of times. You know what I'm saying, I hear with my eyes.
yeah,
I hear what
and
you're saying, but I got to see
Yeah.
at the same time. And I think a lot of people are just the connections you made and just conversations you had with just random people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just sometimes that's what it takes. It might be that random stranger that they might need it to have the conversation with that pique the interest, and they might not ever forget that conversation and who you are. And then it spreads to other people, and it just keeps spreading and keeps growing and keeps growing. You know, infection is not the only thing that grows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Positivity grows
Yeah.
too. Love spreads too. And with that, living in your purpose and being relentless with that of starting, you know what I'm saying, a nonprofit, it's so much in store.
Yeah.
And it's so much bigger than even the vision y'all have right now, bro. Like,
and we've been carrying this little baby around for a while, man. And every time
I'm glad y'all came up off of it.
Yeah, but every time we go around the corner, man, it seems like we pick up something new, right?
That's how it be, man.
And it's just, you know, you mentioned, you know, that stranger, right? My wife said I will never meet strangers. I talk to anybody, you know, and I think that's one of those deals I'm happy I'm blessed with, right? But I remember talking to this guy one time, man, and you know, you get to the point where it's like, okay, you see this homeless guy, he's walking up, young kid, and so, you know, I go to give him change, and he was like, "Hey, I like your shirt." I had a Texas Rangers t-shirt on. "I like your shirt," and I was like, "I appreciate it, man." We just started talking. We were downtown, and dude, I ended up having like this whole hour plus conversation with this kid. And he tell me he went to school here in town. Full ride scholarship for baseball. And ended up getting addicted to drugs. Led into the streets. 20 some years old, man. And I just remember walking in, "Hey, let's grab you something to eat." It's like, no. He's like, "I'm fine." So I just grabbed, you ain't got to come in, you know. So I went in and grabbed me something to eat. And we sat down on the river walk there, literally on the bench, and talked for like a whole hour and a half. And then I said, "Man, if you ever need anything, I work in this building right here. Come see me." And the only thing he would see me, he would just speak. Never asked me for anything else. But it was days when I would see him and he just asked, "Man, how you doing?" It's like, "I'm doing good." And you know, and I didn't see him for a while, and then I saw him after that, and I told my wife, I was like, "You know, I saw that kid at the store, and he had told me he had got into a rehab center and like things like that, man." And I was just wondering, like, how many people passed this kid? You know what I mean? Like, how many people?
Thousands.
look past him and thinking you want something.
Just because
right?
he down bad on his luck right now.
And so I think about that even with our kids, I mean, we still have them follow, the rules and regulations of the program and walking into public and being a certain way, and not just because we're telling you this. It's actually like we're doing it because we've seen
what could happen.
We've
seen the other side of it.
Yeah. And it's like, what they say about a kid, with his connection with his mom, they always say the umbilical cord is never really detached, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we have so many of our cords on these kids, man, and our lines can only go so far. And eventually we know they got to go on. It's like, but man, I need to tell you one more thing before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just hold on to it. And that's why that's why I think, I think about sports and I think about life and how much, even like football.
They equate to each other.
It's 11 guys on the field, right? Each one of us have to do a certain job.
All right, that ain't gonna work.
Or it's not gonna work. And it's the same way I feel like, with everybody who come in contact with, kids that, whether we're coaching them, whether they're working with a separate trainer or they're in school, it's a tutor, it's a pastor, it's a youth leader, it's somebody, like each one of them is one of these players. And if we all do it right, that kid probably gonna.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, man, it's a lot, and I just learned to I really love it more than I just like. People say, I appreciate being around the kids, what they teach me. I'm like, dude, I love this, man. Like, you ask me to take my computer and ship it back and say you can do this every day and this all you do.
Well, for sure. I'm the same way, bro. I'm the same way with each of the kids. They all know it. Like, it's not no favoritism. It's not sugarcoating. Now I'm gonna say what I got to say, not disrespectfully.
Yeah.
But you gonna understand my point. But at the end of the day, it's only to set you up for, like you were saying, for when you do get back to school, like you get that job, or you go to college, or you have to work for yourself. You have to have the mental capacity to be able to withstand any type of adversity. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of different things come at you quick.
Yeah.
And if you've never been tested or prepped for that,
it's
especially with us dealing with teenagers, you know what I'm saying? Like we deal with Brady 14. So the youngest we got is 14. We might got a couple that's getting ready to turn 18. Them the most impressionable years of their life, man.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? We already fighting the battle of the influences at school. You fighting the battle of the social media influences and what's real and what's not. And then you got the female, influences, and females got the male influences, and you got all this political stuff going on, and you still fighting against racism and classism and sexism. And there's so many different things that they're battling. And then we look back, you're a little older than me, but we look back, and I look back at when I was growing up, and I'm like, bro, I know this stuff was around, but we didn't get it to the magnitude and level that they getting it because this wasn't what it is now.
I was about to say, but they just get that information a little bit quicker.
They can wake up, like they can sleep for 8, 9 hours. I know these teenagers, they'll stay up all night and sleep all day. And as soon as they open their eyes, the first thing they grab is the phone. And there's so many different, there's so many different negative influences out there. And it's very vital that we as adults who've been there, who've done that, as much as they hate to hear it, the same stories over and over, but we keep telling them the same stories, hoping that it creates that groove in the brain, that creates that muscle memory, and that memory that'll drive home whenever I get in a situation. Like, you know what? I've heard this before.
Yeah.
I've seen this before. Kind of like a deja vu feeling, but it's not. It's just all the time that we have impressed upon them, X, Y, and Z, not ABC. Do X, Y, and Z, not ABC. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Everybody else leading you down the wrong path. Not saying we always right, but we have more experiences.
I was like, but
we might not.
That percentage is
let me reword that. We might not be right in the way that they would do it that works for them. I'm not saying we're leading the kids down the wrong path. I don't want nobody. That's not what
I'm with you with that.
That's not what we're trying to do.
I can see where you could go with that. They have their way, we have our way,
Right.
But at the end of the day, quickest way, you know what I'm saying, on a straight line is point A to point B.
It is.
And that's basically what we're just trying to get you to from point A to point B. I'm just telling you, I've been to point B. I'm how I got there maybe a little different, but I'm gonna tell you, point B is point B at the end of the day.
And then we go so far is I can already see the obstacles that's down the road on the way to point B. So just because it's the easiest, don't mean that you need to take that path.
Yeah, for sure.
To get to point B.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You might not need to go to toll road. Go on down 35.
You go ahead and go through that.
Go through 35, because that might be saving you from something that we already see coming because we've all been through this experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We've
been down that path. We've been down that road. We fell and bumped our head, even though somebody told us. So we're not just telling you from our experiences, we telling you from the experiences we were told also.
Yeah. It's you know, I think back and I look at, you know, when you think about some of those conversations, because I remember my uncle telling me, you know, you wouldn't be able to do that then. And
I heard that a few times.
And I said to myself, like, man, you know, young teenager, I'm shaking my head, like, whatever. And I remember having the same conversation with my son, and he looking at me like, oh no. I'm like, what do you mean?
That's how it happened.
But I just said, you know, like, you know what, you're right. It's the same game, just the people, like, you know, things that just change. It's the same thing.
Bro, it was one phrase that my dad used to say to me all the time, and it's stuck in my head to this day. You might not understand right now, but you'll understand when you get older.
Yeah.
He said that almost every day. Because you know how it is. You can start, you know, you lifting a little weights, you get a little taller. You know, you looking on top of your head, you smelling yourself a little bit, as they say. Like you think you feeling it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You think you knowing it. So it's one of them things where he had to knock me back down and show me reality. And even though I didn't want to listen to it, I didn't want to hear it, it saved me from a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of times I still would do my own thing, and I had to find out the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got a couple of those out there. Not a couple. You still got a bunch that's like that out there. You still got some adults that's like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So,
it's my father-in-law told me, well, one of his guys he was with, almost same thing. He just told me to keep living.
Oh yeah, boy. That's the one. That's the one.
Keep living. And I looked at him, I'm like,
that's the one.
Then you think about it, it's like,
okay.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I see where you're going with this, right?
That's the one.
You know, those things, it also just kind of lead me into that deal about, you know, some of the, how do we touch kids, right? And we tell them, you know, keep living, you know, keep growing, and eventually, you know, some of these things you'll find out, you know, we'll be there with you along the way, but, you know, let us help you, you know, miss some of these obstacles, right? There's everybody say you can go straight to the top. That's just like we talking about this straight line. There's no path straight to the top, right?
It never happens like that.
We can't even leave our house right now and go down to the store without making a couple turns.
Facts.
Right. So I always look at stuff like that and think about it. And it's like, you know, kids, I mean, you're bound to make a mistake, but you know, I can't fault you sometimes for what you don't know. So let us help you and give you some knowledge and help you along the way, and along your journey. And as you go through high school, which, you know, like you said, that pivotal time of kids growing, and it's so many different influences out there. There's so many more negative than positive, right?
Yeah.
With AI, you don't know who's talking to what's right or what's wrong.
Them AI deep fakes is something serious,
man,
boy.
Now kids are just like, did you hear that, coach? I'm like, hear what? You didn't hear what just happened? And there you are on your phone, you searching every news site possible, you don't find it.
They so
but I just saw it right
easily
here.
influenced,
You know?
man.
Like, so yeah, man, it's it's just those little words or those things that go back. And I remember I had a conversation with a kid, and when I left the conversation, I dude, bro, I remember saying this to myself, man. That kid is a race car without a steering wheel. Bro, you're so valuable. You're worth millions. Man, you have sponsors. You got engineers. You got these high price mechanics. You got all the best wheels, the best brakes, the best body, the best. You have everything, right?
She don't have the main thing, main component.
Yeah. So what? I mean, how good can you be if I can't do nothing with you? And a lot of times, we try to tell these kids all the time. It's like, we focus on grades and we focus on all of these things, and what to say? Hey, look, we can go to a tournament. We didn't win the tournament. Okay,
But did you grow from that?
did you grow from there?
Did you learn
You know what I'm
something?
saying? Am I adding a couple pieces to this car for you, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, when you get senior year,
You're full body car ready to go.
you ready to go. You got that steering wheel. Now you in the driver's seat, right? I mean, you have control of everything in this vehicle.
I like that analogy.
And I had to really, I thought about it, and I kept saying, man, how many kids we see, and that's the first thing we think about is they're running around with YouTube, all these people at these tournaments recording them, and they have all these tools. And then when you see them, he's like, they're missing one thing. They're just missing one. They have no control over any of this right now. They have no control. They just, everybody putting something on them, but they don't have control of their own situation. They can't choose the school that they want to go to.
Just on autopilot.
They're just on autopilot, right? You're doing everything for somebody else, but you don't have control of your own. Everybody want to see you go to Texas. Why? You have no idea why you're there. You just know they may have been now in this era, they were one that offers you the most money.
This big name.
But you want to be an engineer, and you could have went to A&M and got to engineering school, right?
Just out here moving without a purpose, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Moving without a purpose, man. Yeah. It's a lot of kids like that, man. We can go on and on with that, man. We might have to have a part 2 on that conversation,
for
man.
Sure, man.
But man, let's we that was a perfect segue actually that you started on. Tournament number 1 with the young men, man. I know on defense, with you being one of the defensive guys, pretty much a brand new first year 18U defense, man. A couple of guys play together at school, but for the most part, it's a lot of the guys' first time ever really. I know we had a scrimmage, but it's first time actually really getting together as a unit and going out there against some live bullets when we go to Fort Worth this upcoming weekend, man. So just talk. What are your? I don't even want to say expectations. I guess what are you looking forward to the most?
We got some solid kids on this team. They done stuff, in the scrimmage that, excited me about what could be, right? Those little in-game adjustments we mentioned earlier. Not even calling the defense and letting them do it. Allowing the kids to grow, communicate with each other. All that, you saw so much in that scrimmage that I think when the opposition get on the other side and you go ahead and give us 7 points to work with, I'm excited.
2 stops, man.
2 stops. That's all we need, man. We'll get you 2 stops, and you'll score 20, and we good.
We score more than that.
But no, I'm excited. I like the group of kids. I like the fact that you have those that have already shown in practice that they're willing to play and move positions, and they want to be on the field. They want to be taught. And so with that, I think once it get going, they'll turn up.
Sure.
I'm excited about this. I'm really excited. I don't even know
For
how
sure,
to say it
for
3 or
sure,
4 times,
sure,
man,
man.
but I'm excited about it.
I think this year's a little different because in the past we really haven't scrimmaged because we had a younger team and an older team,
Yeah,
and
and
we
just
just
let them
all
battle it out.
practice, and that's kind of how we did it. But this year we actually kind of got a taste of what the product has the potential to be
Yeah.
when we get, you know what I'm saying, the tournament number one. And last, year, we going into the first tournament kind of with the unknown. Or I'm not even gonna say the unknown. We expected something,
I like
and
that.
we didn't get that because at the end of the day, yeah, we coaches, we've seen this in practice, but we're not the ones that's out there between the white lines running routes, trying to defend a route or what have you. And I'm gonna be honest, some of the kids were just shell shocked because 7-on-7 speed of the game is
It's a lot faster. Yeah.
than Friday nights
It
in
is.
full pads with 11-on-11.
You know, and some of the kids, I feel like what I like first. Let me say this part. I like the fact that the tournaments that we've been a part of have actually had some really good competition.
Yes.
Right. And with that, I think the kids know going into these tournaments that it's just not the one that's held in the field somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already told them, be ready to give your best, because if not, you don't want to be that one,
get your nose blowed off.
Yeah, that and all the antics that come with some of the 7-on-7 teams.
You're going viral the wrong way.
If you don't want to be that guy, I go to bed Friday night when we get there, talk to your friends, do whatever. Yeah. Get you some rest. We're gonna have the whole little deal that you say every time you at a tournament. But in reality, last year I think some of them was so excited to be out there that when we got out there, they forgot what they was out there
lost
for.
Sight of
sure.
The reason why we out here. It glorified vacation, man.
And that's what it was.
We trying to stress this year that it's a time and place. Like, of course, we know we're out of town. You know what I'm saying? We know this is not the norm for some of you. We understand this might be your first time going somewhere. So when it's game time, lock in. Outside of that, you teenagers, we get it. Y'all want to go. Y'all want to go to the mall. Y'all want to go Dave and Buster's. Y'all want to get in the pool, y'all want to do stuff like. We gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
But after you do this,
right? But we're in Fort Worth. We going 4.5 hours down the road for a purpose, not just to go sleep in a hotel. Like, if we want to do that, we can go to New Braunfels. You know what I'm saying?
Hang out for the
right?
weekend.
If that's what we want to do. So. But I think they're older this year. They understand that, man, and I'm excited for the entire weekend, man. We finally get a chance to show them something else, display what they've been working on. I don't even want to say. I know a lot of coaches, a lot of people want to say display our product. I don't feel like it's our product. The only thing we're doing is just polishing up what the boys already have.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like we get a chance to display all the work that they put in together as a unit. You know what I'm saying? Play Saturday. Somebody mentioned like Dave and Buster's or something, or that might be Houston. I know we have, because we have 2 pastors, man. So we got a volunteer Bible study we're gonna do, man. We got one young man who might actually, he kind of feel a little compelled to speak, every now and then. So he might speak at this tournament, might not. But just other opportunities outside of just playing ball, man. Like, we talk ball, but like we talked about for the first half of the interview, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Ball is just an avenue to help you down your path of life. You know what I'm saying? If you use it the right way.
And I like, I look at the kids, and when you mentioned, one of them may be speaking, if he, he get that edge. What I like about that, man, is these kids, they actually listen to each other. No voice is bigger than the other voice in the room.
Sure.
And if a kid, did stand up and say, hey, I got something to say, we're not playing good, and he get up on the sideline and start talking, you don't have those eyes roll and, looking at him like, man, whatever kind of deal. It's like, okay. And you see him. That was another thing I looked at when I was thinking about this team, is their interaction with each other on the sideline during the scrimmage, and me and Ty sitting over there talking to them, seeing what we see, asking them questions, and they literally like regurgitating this information back to you. You're like, okay, cool. All right, I got you, coach. Next time we go back out, I know this now, I know that now, and then you see it in action. It's like, man, this is only like a scrimmage.
But it's that family atmosphere we got, man.
Yeah,
it's that family atmosphere.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
They gelled together. We started practicing early. Unfortunately, some of they playoffs were cut short. Some didn't make the playoffs, so we were, unfortunate for them for the school. Fortunate for us out here for what we're doing. We were able to have a trial early, get the team together, have a couple practices before Christmas break, and then come back and have a couple more, and then set up a scrimmage. So I mean, we got a good 6 practices in,
every bit.
six in a scrimmage,
Yeah,
something like that, or 6 total with the scrimmage, something like that.
Yeah, five or six.
We got a solid. So we're looking at a solid 1,200 to 1,400 hours together of good work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So,
and then it's a lot of snaps. And that's why I say these kids, they work hard, man, and I'm excited. I think we really gonna show well. It's almost like that Friday night game. You just wait to get the kickoff over with. Once the kickoff over with, game on.
For sure, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like one of the kids right now. I'm gonna give a restaurant a shout out. We went to it last year, Coach Sparks and his wife and the kids, and we went.
Oh yeah, I missed that.
Hey, as soon as I hope we play early enough. We going to Boo Ray's on Saturday. I need some of that good Cajun
Cajun
food. We going to Boo Ray's on Saturday.
Yeah, so, I'll definitely make sure
I'm looking forward to the games, but I'm looking forward to that food too. I got to eat.
Well, I mean, we are driving these kids, so parents might as well just
I got to
get the opportunity to
listen. Everybody's vehicle got a different GPS. Yours ain't got to go to where mine going. Yours ain't got to go the way mine going. But I know where I'm gonna be. I don't know where everybody else gonna be, but I know where I'm got to eat it before I leave Fort Worth.
Well, I tell you
what,
I missed it
before I leave crawling.
And according to you and your wife, I missed out, and even your son was like, "Oh man." So all right, so we there. I guess everybody Boo Ray's.
Yeah, Boo Ray.
I don't even know the address, but everybody got a smartphone.
I just had to plug them in, man.
And if you're in Fort Worth, y'all want to come see some nice kids play. North Carolina High School.
Yes, sir.
DR7.
Yes, sir. Saturday, Sunday, man. But that's, man, good episode, good conversation there, man. Sure, good conversation, man. And we
finally got a chance to come.
Sir. Finally had you live in studio, man.
Yeah,
stay across the street, man. Ain't never been over here yet, man.
Yeah, man.
Live and in studio, man. We appreciate
Coach. He stopped me at the driveway, man. I don't get a chance to come in. He was keeping this thing a secret.
Here you go, man. But we appreciate Coach Lawrence Lewis for joining us today, man. Another episode of Relentless Purpose Podcast. You see the socials. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on IG. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. And as always, be relentless in everything and walk in purpose. Relentless Purpose Podcast. Appreciate it.